We talk about in CFAK and in SFAK how to get into a neutral bow. We talk about stepping back naturally. For this, I'm going to grab one of the chairs I have here, pretending as though it is a wall. As I step up to the wall, I want my heels, my hips, and my shoulders to touch the wall, and I'm going to relax and take a natural step forward. And stepping from front foot leading, heel to toe motion, and then pushing off my back foot so that my feet meet together. Now my body will be cognizant of that distance because of the length of my legs. So as I come to my imaginary wall and take a natural step forward, now I should be able to, in theory, naturally step back, going to a ball to heel motion, and then touching my imaginary wall, in which I do. Once again, natural step forward, heel to toe motion. Same thing when going in reverse, a ball to heel motion to return. How this becomes important is understanding in using our natural body motions in our horse stances, our neutral bows, and in any movement or motion such as our step drags, our drag steps, our step drag steps. It's so much easier on your mind and your body when you're doing something that is more natural that you do every day, rather than trying to overlay a karate model on top of your natural model. So with that, I'm going to do this from the front view, is how we get into a neutral bow. As we start, if we're just standing naturally, we like to step back naturally as the first step into achieving your neutral bow. You would say the method in which you had been taught to step back was just to swing the gait, swinging your shoulders and your hips open and just swinging the foot back. Now this is the traditional way, or the modern way of getting into a neutral bow. It's been taught that way for a number of years. American Kempo was, let's say in short form 1, it says the first step is to step back to a neutral bow. But it doesn't tell you how to do that. Break stance gives us a method by which to step back into a neutral bow, which it is in line with the concepts and principles of American Kempo. With that, I'm going to start with just my feet together naturally. I'm going to step back naturally now with my right leg. As I step back naturally, you notice I'm not stepping back straight back. We call this straight and over. If I were to step straight back, even now I'm kind of unbalanced. Someone could come alongside me and push me over. I can't stand up. Even with my back heel up, I have to really bend my knees to try and maintain some sort of balance. In getting into a neutral bow, we need to have the width and depth change so that we're in a stable position. That is why when we step back naturally, I step back and over. Almost, if you play chess, almost like the knight's pattern. Knight can move many different ways, but in this example, it's almost as though the knight is moving back 2 spaces and right 1 space. Same thing with our feet, is moving back 2 spaces and at the same time over 1 space. Now you notice there that my back heel is up, my knees are bent. I'm going to fold my arms just because my face doesn't do karate. Next motion is what we call the heel up, heel down maneuver. In other words, my back heel turns and comes down to place it into the neutral bow position. I got to do something with my front foot. My front foot is, well, in a forward stance and not a neutral bow. I'm going to kick my left heel out using the control surface pivot point near my big toe. And now I am in a neutral, overcorrect neutral bow towards 12 o'clock. Once again, I will do that from the side. In order to use break stance, I am going to step back and over. Notice there, let me back up a little bit so you can see on the camera, is if I drop my knee I am in a perfect depth of action for a neutral bow. If I were to drop my knee is parallel to my front heel. As I come back up again, I am in a perfect depth of action for the neutral bow. I step back and over, my heel is up, I heel down with the back foot, front heel comes up and pivots out using CSP2, and now I'm in a neutral bow. You are now at my 3 o'clock, I'm in a left neutral bow to my 12. Back up. Now when talking about the neutral bow, we talk about height, depth, and width. The height of the neutral bow dips a little bit. From my natural standing posture to go into a neutral bow, I will probably dip an inch or so in height. But that depth, that decrease in height gives me stability and weight transfer to my feet. The second zone that we're going to talk about is our width. And in going into the neutral bow, as we talked about earlier, stepping back naturally, if I were to go straight, I'm really uneven and unbalanced. And that's why we have to widen our base and use our width to create balance. That's why as we step back naturally, it's not just straight back, it's straight and over. I'm now basically a perspective horse to 130 and a what we call funky stance to you. Now, quick aside, funky stance is this transitory motion in between a standing or feet together motion and this. And this is funky stance. Back heel is up, feet, hips, and shoulders are pointing straight. It is before we do the heel up, or heel down, heel up, heel down maneuver to get into that neutral bow. Back up again. Width is super important, that we have that 50-50 weight distribution between feet for our neutral bow. And last, we talked about height, we've talked about width, and now let's talk about depth. The depth of the stance, as I demonstrated earlier, is determined by how long my legs are. I'm 5'11", and my hips are at least half of my body height, if not more. My legs are rather long, kind of shrouded by this jacket. But as I do that step back and over maneuver, if I'm taking a natural step back, just letting my body go where it wants to go, if I were to drop my right leg, it's going to give me the perfect depth for the stance. My back heel of my left foot is equal with my right knee. I push off the ground, and here I am in funky stance. Heel up, heel down, I am in a neutral bow. With that, hopefully it answered your questions. The most important things about these stances is understanding how it modifies our height, our width, and our depth within each of our stances.